Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We just want to say hi. I'm Christine.
I'm Molly.
And I'm an early learning program specialist with Better Kid Care. Molly?
I am Molly, the multimedia specialist.
This is our first CDA Get Started webinar, trying to help people who are getting started with the CDA course or just providing some general information about the CDA. We said our welcome, but welcome again to our first CDA Get Started webinar. You should be able to see our PowerPoint on the screen. We really wanted to make this personal so you can see us as well. There should be a little box on the side. Maybe someday we'll get Zoom figured out where we can have everybody on. So let's get started. So today our objectives for this webinar are, of course, to get to know each other, but also to build our understanding about CDA, build some community around CDA, learn how to navigate and prepare for the CDA Credential, and learn strategies to stay on track. So we've got a lot to cover. Anytime you have questions, use your chat button on the side, or you can use the Q&A too. We see another friend on, Jessica from Lebanon. Hi, Jessica. So a little bit about Better Kid Care. You can go to our website to find out a lot about Penn State Better Kid Care. We're part of Penn State University Cooperative Extension. We've been doing this for a long time, over 20 plus years. We have over 200 online modules offering professional development for early educators and school-age professionals. But there's a lot more about us on our website. I also wanted to bring your attention to this little green button on the bottom, which I forgot to show you. We are proud partners with the CDA Council. This has helped us a lot in our work at Penn State Better Kid Care. I'm going to put on my CDA button too. I have a proud partner CDA button, so I am going to put that on because that helps us understand a lot about CDA. But if you want to find out more about Better Kid Care, on each screen you can see our web address and our 800 phone number as well. So we talked a little bit about building CDA community, and what does that really mean? So our webinar today is part of that. We really want to try to just build this strong CDA community. So you want to get to know your CDA team. And someone who might be on the CDA team is the CDA Council. If I just put this button on, they are the only group to award the CDA Credential, and they are who you're going to apply with for your CDA Credential and do a lot of different things. So they're going to be part of your team. Also, another person who's going to be part of your team is your CDA Professional Development Specialist. That is a person who, towards later in your process, will come and observe you working in your setting. You're going to learn more about them in our course or your other professional development you're doing for CDA. CDA mentors can be on your team too. Now, who's that? So that might be people like your director, your assistant director, your peers, your professional peers, your partner. It could be a lot of people. But what you want to remember about mentors is you need to talk to them and ask them, would they be willing to look at some of your work you're doing for CDA, particularly when you're doing some of your writings that you'll do for your professional portfolio, which you're going to learn a lot about later too. So do you know of anybody who's experienced in the CDA Credential who could be a good mentor? There's probably a lot of people you know who could be a mentor for you, but you're going to need to talk to them and ask them. Better Kid Care, we want to be part of your team. Now, unfortunately, we can't do reviews for your professional portfolio, or we can't meet with you in person or anything like that, but we are part of your professional development team if you're doing the Better Kid Care course. And even if you just want information and you're not using our course and you need some information about CDA, we would love to be part of your team in that regard. But again, we won't be the mentor that looks at your portfolio writings or anything like that. But we will be here to help you get started and navigate. So we want to be part of your team. Poll time. And Molly is in charge of our polls.
All right, Sue.
So now we know a little bit more about each other. So just get out of this. Okay. But let's get started. How do you get started? So one of the first things for CDA, obviously, is visiting the CDA Council's website. But if you're interested in the Better Kid Care course, you're going to want to visit the Better Kid Care website. This is a screenshot of our homepage. And at the very top is the CDA course. That's what you'll click to find out information about the CDA course. So when you click that, you'll be taken to our CDA course overview page. The nice thing about this is if you want to share it with somebody, it's a PDF option in the top right-hand corner. It is an overview of the course, a basic overview. So it talks a little bit about the course having 80 core hours and 40 electives, which we'll go over that a little bit more later. But the course does have 120 hours, 80 core and 40 elective. On this page too, it shows you where to sign into On Demand. There's a link right to On Demand. If you need to contact Better Kid Care, there's the number right below that if you have questions. But reading this information will help you, and then signing into On Demand is where all of our lessons, our modules are housed, and that's where the course is. So when you sign into On Demand, it looks like this, a page where you'll put your email address and your password. If you've not created an account with Better Kid Care, you'll have to create a new account, which is easy, no cost, providing information. My suggestion here is for all of your CDA information, make sure you have a folder, either an electronic folder or a paper folder. Write your passwords, your contacts, have a place for your questions, your paperwork. Keep everything in one place so you know where it is. Because you'll be signing back into Better Kid Care at multiple times, you'll need to know that password. Once you sign in, you will see lots of things. So once you're in On Demand, this is where, again, all of our modules are. This is also where the CDA course is listed. So on the left-hand side, there's a big button that says CDA course. What happens when you click CDA course, it doesn't mean that you are stuck in the CDA course or you have to take the CDA course. But what happens is you click the CDA course and it launches you into a tutorial. The tutorial is, there's no cost for the tutorial. This first tutorial is to help you in understanding the CDA course, the CDA credential, cost, and a lot more things. Again, when you click the CDA course and On Demand, it doesn't mean you've signed up for anything or that you have to stay in it, but it will launch you directly into a tutorial, the first one, CDA Get Started, the same name as this webinar. It's very helpful and will explain the whole process, a lot of details. So once you launch that first tutorial and you're done, you've taken it, say you want to review it again, there'll be a button on the side that says Review Completed Tutorials. You can click that button to review that first tutorial. There's going to be some other tutorials I'll tell you about in a second, but any tutorial you complete, you will have the options to review at any time at no cost. So once you have completed that first tutorial, you will come to a page that says Get Started, select your CDA setting. Now we know we have somebody from every setting. So if you're going to take this course, some of you will click infant toddler. Some of you will select preschool, a lot of you, the majority today, if you're going to do the Better Kid Care course, and some of you will click family child care. This page also talks a little bit more about the whole course again, that 80 core hours and the 40 electives. So I'm going to pick preschool. When you select your setting, what happens is you'll come to a page that'll show the 8 CDA subject areas. I've clicked the first CDA subject area, CDA 1, to plan, establish, and maintain a safe, healthy learning environment. There are 8 of them in general. You're going to learn more about those too if you're not familiar with those. So this shows me my core lessons that I need to take in preschool in the CDA course in CDA subject area 1. So say I'm confused and I want to go back to the setting page. I can come back over here and click CDA setting, and it will take me back to that initial page of infant toddler, preschool, family, childcare. If you need to get back to your setting, just click CDA setting. If you want to review the core lessons, you can click core lessons on the left. If you want to review what electives are again, you can review electives. If you want to review completed tutorials, you can review completed tutorials. At the very end, when you're totally done with your 120 hours, you'll see this email CDA course certificate. You won't be able to see that now on your screen. I can see it on mine because I've completed those. Did you want to say something?
Well, isn't it the case that the elective lessons, they're not organized by the CDA 1, 2, 3?
Right.
So it's just the electives are all the same for preschool.
Right. So Molly had a good point. The core lessons, which we're looking at, are very specific to the CDA subject area. And we've picked them for you. These are the ones you have to take. The electives are a list of lessons that are comprehensive of all the subject areas, but fit your setting. So preschool will have their own list of electives. Infant, toddler, and family childcare will also have their own list of electives. You won't need to do them all. You only need to do 40 hours worth. So you'll get to select them. So you'll get to self-select what works best for you. But again, they will fit your setting, and they will be comprehensive to all the subject areas. So let's say I click a good night's sleep, the first lesson in CDA 1 in my preschool setting. So what will happen is if I click that, it will launch me into the first lesson. There's always a lesson overview, there's lesson objectives, and you'll go the whole way through the lesson. And then you can go back to your setting. I went back to the elective page. So say I need to keep track now. How many lessons have I done in 120 hours? What do I need to look at? On this page, it will show me the required hours at the bottom. For my electives, it says I need 40, and I've done 52. I'm in a pretty good place. Core total, I'm required to do 80, and I have 80 done. So this will show you where you are in the process. And also, when you complete a lesson, whether it's a core or an elective, it will show you your status. So status means, did I complete it or am I partially? Some of you mentioned that you've already completed lessons. Those may already show up in your CDA course. Some of you said you're partially, so you might see a P next to a lesson. Or say you started a lesson and you don't have time to finish it that day. It'll show a P there that you're partially, and you can go back anytime and revisit it. So how do you stay on track? So one of the great things when you're in any course is a course syllabus, right? We have a course syllabus, but it's called a pacing guide. It's just like a syllabus. It's a course pacing guide for the whole entire course. And even if you're not using the Better Kid Care course, this is just a great tool for any course. Our pacing guide, this is a sample of what the front end of it looks like. It's broken up into 3 sections. So it's this one is done for a 12-month period, so there's 12 months on the whole. You can only see a part of it. This is just a sample. So we've broken it down to 12 months. And so each month, it would say the course lessons, and it would give you specific lessons to complete that month. So for example, under course lessons here, it says complete CDA 1 tutorial and the core lessons for CDA 1, which would be 5 lessons. There are 10 hours in each core subject area. It also tells you what reading to do for that month and lists the books and what exact book that is and what section to read. It also tells you what to do for your professional portfolio. And if you're not familiar with the professional portfolio, don't worry. You're going to learn a lot about it in the tutorials. Also, if you look under each one of these headings, there's easy access to the course under CDA course lessons. There's easy access to a required reading list with specific page numbers, books, everything, where to get the books, the tutorials, where to get the books to. I see a question there too. I'm sure our friend Roxy at Better Kid Care is going to answer that too. But somebody's asking, how important are the books and the reading to the CDA? They're very important. Your modules are very important, and the course reading is very important because it's going to help you in preparing your portfolio and also in preparing your you'll be taking a test. We've used curriculum books from the council, and that will actually help focus even more on what those tests are going to be like, because the test is from the council, the CDA Council, so it's really important. Also, under professional portfolio, you'll see there's a little link to a professional portfolio how-to guide. We've created a guide to help you in the process. You don't have to use this, but you can. So there's great resources in this pacing guide monthly to keep you on track. Say you want to speed up that work and work faster than 12 months. You would just simply increase your work depending on what works best for you. And so if you need more time, you can decrease the work. So say you want to spend even more time than 12 months. So you would just lessen the work that you do. But again, this pacing guide, it's in the tutorials, in every tutorial, and it's very helpful in the CDA course. Anything you want to say about that pacing guide, or did I miss anything there? All right, let's go to the planner. This is another great thing to help you stay on track and is in the tutorials. There's a planner that is most of you may use a calendar, electronic or paper, and you have an option if you like to use our PDF of a planner that has weekly options, monthly options, but it's in there to help you. So the tools to help you are what? The pacing guide, the tutorials, the planner, your team, more webinars, right? There's lots. Also, you can sign up for CDA Updates. If you haven't done so already, on our website, at the bottom of the page, it says subscribe to newsletters. So that's a great place to sign up for the CDA Updates. That's where all the webinars will be announced. Now let's get some more questions. Anybody have any questions? We only have a couple minutes, and I apologize for that. What is the cost? Is it $5 per course? Yes, it's $5 per module, not course. The course would be different. So in the CDA First tutorial, you're going to learn a lot more about costs and options. So what we recommend at this point is that you sign into On Demand and start the course, start the first tutorial. It'll launch you right in. Because there are so many little factors for everybody's cost, like each state can have some support to help you. Some states do, most states do, especially for the CDA application with QRES programs. But yes, each module is $5. So an average, we can give you an average of, for our course, would be $300 for the course, unless you've already completed modules. Those might transfer and auto-populate into your course. So you really need to take that first tutorial to get a sense of cost and all the factors. So one of the things somebody just asked are about the books, and I just want to tell you quickly that the books are separately, yes, and you will order them from the CDA Council, but if you attended our webinar today, everybody's getting a free Essentials book. We have by registering, we have your contact information, so we're going to send you the Essentials book, so don't buy the Essentials curriculum book. This one. If anybody's still on, some people were asking about the book when we'll send it. We probably will send them Monday, and standard shipping takes about a week, but the books we've sent to people already got there really quickly, so probably a week. And somebody was asking about can training hours be used towards elective hours? Outside of, no, not in our course, but if you're doing in the CDA First tutorial talks about a partial, how you could use Better Kid Care lessons for partial, but you just wouldn't be moving along with the course and you wouldn't get a one-time certificate, but you could blend your outside training with Better Kid Care and independently do it. You just wouldn't get a one-time certificate from us saying 120 hours that people will get in our course. But you're certainly welcome to use the tutorials and be a partial CDA candidate with Better Kid Care, because a lot of people have existing hours. So that's all covered in that first tutorial. I would definitely watch that again, or watch it if you've not, so you can see that and how to do that. We actually even have a tool on our CDA resource page it's basically an organizational for CDA, like how many hours you have in each CDA subject area that partial CDA candidates could do who aren't using our full CDA course. You just wouldn't move within our course then, how the course is outlined by core and elective. I mean, you could certainly look at it, but you would be doing it differently. You wouldn't be in the CDA course. And we'd be happy to talk to you further about that. You could just call the 800 number and ask to speak with Christine or Roxy. I have a friend who's doing the course, and at the end yes, that's covered in the first CDA tutorial, that the fees, there are different fees you face. Jessica, you will have your professional development fee. That's your training. So however much that costs in what program. If you're using Better Kick Care, we said today it's an average of $300 unless you already have lessons done. The CDA Council charges $425 to apply. There are many state funding programs that have vouchers to pay that fee. So depending on what state you're from, Jessica, you will have, and maybe Roxy's going to type this in there too, but you will have hopefully have options to apply for vouchers to help pay that fee, or they wouldn't pay that fee. If you're from Pennsylvania, if you're in the Keystone Stars program, you would want to go to Keystone Stars, and they have a voucher for CDA. All that's covered in the CDA first tutorial too, for all states. There are 3 basic fees. A lot of people are concerned about cost, so let's just say the 3 basic fees that you face are your books, your cost for professional development, and the cost to apply to the CDA Council for the credential, which is that $425. So the books are around $95 when you get all 3 books from the council. All of this is covered in that first CDA Get Started tutorial too. When you sign into our course, it'll launch you in, and you can get a better understanding of this. But again, we'd be happy to call in. We'll be happy to answer them. The 3 fees, again, that you face for getting a CDA credential are your books that you'll need, your professional development. If you're doing the Better Kid Care course and you have no lessons done at all already, that's about $300, but you pay as you go. So you can pay 1 at a time. You can multiple pay too, which is nice. A lot of places charge you up front for everything at once. So we don't do that. Yeah, the information for the voucher in Pennsylvania with the key is under career development. There's a direct link in the CDA tutorial to that link about the voucher. Okay, we only have 1 minute, so I hope I answered the questions about the cost. But again, they're all more specifically answered in that first CDA tutorial, which it doesn't cost you anything to click or go into the on-demand, select CDA course, and start. It'll take you into that first tutorial and answer all these questions. And our next webinar is October 27th. So make sure you check our CDA website resources, sign up for the CDA newsletter, CDA Updates, so you can find out about that. Thank you, and thank you all for joining us. We will look through the list of questions too to see if we missed anything.
There's lots of ways to reach out to us with questions. We're on Twitter. There's our phone number in the bottom of the screen. There's the email.
What would you like to say about moment of intention?
For me, planning and putting things in a calendar is very important for my intentions and remembering specific moments. So save the date for the next webinar.
That's an important one, to be always thinking how to be organized. Mine is thinking each time, I think how we can make this better and build our CDA community and build our mentoring together. So hopefully you had a great day, and see ya if you have to go. We will be here again in October. Check the website, and if you want to stay on and type a few things in the chat, feel free to do that. Thank you everybody who's saying thank you, and hopefully it was helpful.